living God is speaking through you. Every prophet is a mouthpiece of God. They're called to be the Navi, the mouthpiece of God. If you do not believe that your God is living, you will prophesy from the soul realm and not from the spirit. But notice how Elijah tells Ahab, he makes known his God. The God of Israel lives, and I stand before him. What type of stand are you making for your generation in the prophetic order? I'm going to ask that question again. What type of stand are you making for God to prophesy in your generation? What are you getting from this?
What I'm getting from it is the boldness that he had only came from him knowing that God was backing him up. He knew that he wasn't just speaking of himself. He had heard this from God, and then God had given him the power to then declare it to the wicked king. So I think when prophets are in a space where they have been consecrated, when they have been in prayer, when they have been truly hearing from God, they've been trained how to listen to his voice, and then how to articulate it to the person that needs to hear it. I think it gives you that boldness to where you can speak things like this, which is nothing but a natural phenomenon. If somebody said that to you, automatically you would think it was foolishness. But he knew, because the God of Israel, the God that he stood before, who he stood before in integrity, he knew that because he was in integrity and he served the God of integrity, he knew that the words that he was speaking were not going to fall to the ground.
Very, very powerful. I want you to write this down. Unless you are able to stand for God, you cannot prophesy for God. If you cannot stand for God, you cannot prophesy for God. See, when you are standing for God, you're standing for all that God represents. Everything that God represents, the prophet must make a stand for that, because they're called to represent him. And so if you're not able to make a stand for God, don't be asking God to prophesy through you, because he's going to give you a word that you're going to have to prophesy unashamedly. Yeah. You have to take a spirit of boldness to declare the word of God in an unintimidating way and prophesy before God. Now, notice what he says: there shall be neither dew nor rain these years except by my word. This is the stand he made. Now,